Okay, magandang buhay po sa ating lahat mga ka-audit. Nandito na naman po tayo sa isang namang episode ng Pinoy Auditor kung saan i-cover natin ang mga materials na makikita natin sa Commission on Audit. Kung sa dalawang series na dumaan, sa dalawang episodes na dumaan, ipinag-usapan natin yung annual financial report. Ang mamarapatin natin i-discuss naman ngayon ay ang annual audit reports naman ng mga local government units natin. So, paano natin siya atakihin? So, para magawa ito, nilimit ko lang muna sa several parameters, kumbaga. Yun ay, una, sabi ko ang local government units. Then, pangalawa, per region natin sila atakihin. And then, pangatlo, meron tayo doon sa bawat region. Tatlo lang ang kaya natin i-cover. Sana matapos natin ngayon. Dun sa pagpili natin ay titignan ko na in advance at alam ko na sa ngayon naman. Yung una, dun sa tatlong provinces is syempre hanapin natin yung may pinakamalaking total assets. Okay, siya yung number 1. Pangalawa is yung may least amount ng total assets. Tapos yung pangatlo is pag in-average natin yung highest at lowest, may makakuha tayong amount. Of course, hindi tayo makakuha ang exact amount ng may corresponding amount din ng total assets ng isang province. So, ang gagawin natin, alin din yung pinakamalapit. So, halimbawa, 5 provinces, 3 lang kailangan natin. Dun sa tatlong may iiwan, alin dun sa tatlo, yung may pinakamalapit yung distance sa amount ng total assets nila versus dun sa average ng highest at lowest. So, isa pang condition is because of the volume ng transactions na nandito, yung bigat ng file na nandito, mas mainam na rin ang pag-usapan lang natin is yung nakasummarize na, yung sa executive summary, which we will see din dito. So again, paano natin umpisahan to? Just punta ka lang sa co.gov.ph. So, which I already did. Pumunta ako dito sa annual audit reports. Makikita ito dito sa reports na tab. And then yan, annual audit reports. So, pag click mo yan, dito ka mapupunta. So, pag nakita mo yan, andyan yung mga jurisdictions ng in-audit ng COA. So, itong tatlo yung very basic. Meron yung public debt reporting at judiciary development fund. Okay, so ang i-tackle natin dito is ito, local government units. Hindi na ako masyado mag-discuss ng mga not directly related sa atin. So, unahin natin of course yung region 1 at covering 2020. Yun ang naman pinaka-relevant natin. Pinaka-relevant sa atin. Bakit natin gagawin ito? Gawin natin to from pinakamataas na region pababa. Okay? Sa executive summary nga at 3 provinces lang with the parameters I mentioned. Para sa NCR, cities yung karamihan doon. So, ganoon pa rin. Okay? Tapos executive summaries pa rin. So, dito, region 1, ang nakita ko na dito sa provinces, may pinakamalaki is Pangasinan with pinakamalaki yan. So, umpisahan na natin without further ado. The largest province in the region. This is the third in the Philippines with 4 cities. Those are Urdaneta, Dagupan, San Carlos, and Alaminos cities. 44 municipalities, 1,364 barangays, and 6 districts. Okay? This location na lang, malapit na lang yan. Mabilis na lang yan mapag-usapan kung titignan mo lang din dito. Okay, headed by the Honorable Amado I. Espino III as the Provincial Governor and the Honorable Vice Governor Mark Ronald D. Lambino as the Presiding Officer of the Legislative Body. So, kasama nila dyan ay yung 14 provincial officials, mga board members and mga ex-officials. Okay? And then 1,462 permanent employees na nasa provincial government, 33 co-terminus employees. 33 is kung yung principal nila ay nag-resign or tapos na yung term, tapos na rin sila. So, siguro mga consultants ito ng mga konsihal, ng mga board members at ng vice governor at ni gobernador. We also have 1,603 casual employees, 184 consultants, separate pa pala. So, malamang ito mga close-in personnel ito, 34. And 2,689 job order personnel as of December 31st, 2020. The provincial capital is located at the capital complex, Lingayen. So, over the year 2020, there are several operational highlights na minention dito sa annual audit report. May ilan to? We will just mention, 10 ito. We'll just mention yung siguro 4 lang. So, number 1 dyan, number 2 nga nakalagay dito tingnan natin siya by order of decreasing from highest to lowest total cost. Okay? So, rehabilitation of Basista or Vista on the Road Phase 2, that's located in Basista, Pangasinan. It's a municipality. Okay. Meron niyang total cost of 75,014,150. Ang sumunod dyan na may malaking project cost naman ay ang upgrading of Ordaneta Asingan Road na may nagkakahalaga ng almost mas mababa lang ng 6 million na 69,842,525.4. Ang closest na sumunod itong rehabilitation of Natividad Tayug Road, 34,359,858.47. And ang pinakamalapit na mula doon is yung upgrading of electrical system phase 3 of Powerhouse 1 at Pangasinan Provincial Hospital. So, electrical works. Okay? So, marami yan. Mga significant lang tinignan. Okay? Financial highlights tayo. So, marami kasi tayong kailangan cover. Makipapansin natin dito, ito yung total assets niya. Okay? Ang sumunod dito actually sa Pangasinan ay ang province of Ilocos Sur at 13.09 ay 009. Ito 059 so parang 15 million diferensya. Total assets as of 2020 na nag-increase ng 10.78%. So, taas ng 10.78%. Liabilities, tumaas ng almost 3% lamang. Equity naman ay 13.04%. I would like to direct your attentions dito sa increase ng income ng 12.06%. This is considering na this is a pandemic era. So, may malaki pa rin ang income na na-generate ng province at 4.846 billion pesos. These are in billion po. So, you have appropriation, ito po yung budget. Obligation, ito po yung part ng budget na may claim na or na-incur na. Okay? And then yung disbursements. Okay? Ito yung mga may cash na nabawasan na talaga. Na gumalaw na or na-paid na mga expenditures. So, scope of audit daw, operations of the provincial government of the province of Pangasinan. Conducted to ascertain the fairness of presentation of the FS. If you can remember dun sa una nating episode, isa sa mga una nating episode, why is audit? Ang tinitingnan talaga dun is fairness. Kasi you can never really see a perfect audit, financial statement. Set of financial statements. Mahirap yun. Walang ganun. There will always be, it's bound to make certain deviations from where? From what? From standards. So, depende kasi may mga kanya-kanyang peculiarities ang mga entities natin na nagre-report. Check compliance with existing laws, rules, and regulations yan. And determine whether management in the implementation of its projects, programs, and activities has obtained its goals and objectives economically, efficiently, and effectively. Okay? So, ang kino-cover dyan actually is 3 kinds of audits. Financial audit, yan yung fairness of presentation. Pangalawa is yung compliance audit, compliance nga nakalagay. And then yung pangatlo is yung performance audit, whether yung activities or PPAs, programs, projects, and activities, those are PPAs, were carried out in an economical, efficient, and effective manner. So, ito includes analysis of accounts, reviews of transactions, methodologies na lang ito. Ito ang ina-assert ng mga auditors ng COA. We conducted our audit in accordance with international standards of supreme audit institutions. Ang Pilipinas ay ang supreme audit institution sa Pilipinas. Ang COA ay ang supreme audit institution sa Pilipinas. And we follow the international standards for SAI na adopted issued by the INTOSAI, tapos inadapt nila yung sa ang INTOSAI as International Organization of SAIs, active member ang COA dyan. Tapos nag-issue sila ng standards na practically based ang financial audit standards dun sa International Federation of Accountants naman. So yan, opinion na tayo. Auditor's opinion on the financial statements. Ayan. Kung maalala natin ulit sa why auditing, why audit na video, makikita natin dito. The auditor rendered a qualified opinion. So kung i-rank natin, you have unqualified, you have qualified, you have disclaimer, and you have adverse. Kung pwede natin i-rank yung pinakamaganda is si unqualified. Kasi sinasabi doon na the financial statements present fairly in all material respects. The blah 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 blah. Dito, the financial statements present fairly in all material respects, blah 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 blah, except for, except for. Ang exception yan is yung na-note dito is uncorrected misstatements na nagkakahalagang almost 76 million. Itong 76 million yan, 75.978 million, nahahati siya sa 6 ba ito? 5, lamang issues na tinamaan ng several accounting accounts, financial statements accounts. So, unang nakita natin dito is yung understated daw ang cash in bank local currency current account. Ano yung local cash in bank local currency current account? Account title po yan na ginagamit ng mga government agencies pag nagre-record sila ng any movement ng cash or any transactions involving cash. Okay? So, yan yun. Ang sabi dito, understated daw. By how much? Ibig sabihin, hindi mas maliit siya sa supposed sa na-audit na amount. And by the amount of 3.9 million due to non-adjustment of stale checks. So, stale checks 6 months older na cheque na hindi pa na-claim. Okay? So, amounting to 3.9 million yan. Pangalawang issue dun sa 75.9 million is yung understatement of loans receivables daw by 12.57 million. So, ano naman itong ibig sabihin nito? Nagpautang ang probinsya pero hindi na-record as pautang. Na-record siya as gastos kasi nakalagay loans receivable and debt amount of 12.571 million due to recording of loan grants as expense. Yan. So, parang inisip niya na gastos. Pag naglabas na yung pera, gastos. Yan, hindi naisip siguro ng mag-record ng accountant na yun pala ay pautang. Pautang ng probinsya. So, yan naman. So, paano pag nagbayad yung pinagpangutang? Ang treatment nila, imbes na kabawasan dun sa utang, ang repayments daw ay income. So, hindi yun necessarily true because those should not be considered as income kasi nga, it's just one form of asset one asset form, bumalik lang sa another form, lumipat lang sa another form of asset. Ano yung sabihin nun? Cash yun, pinutang mo. So, therefore, yung cash mo na yun, nung pinautang mo na, hindi na siya, of course, cash. Wala na sa'yo yung cash, pero napalitan ka ng another kind of asset. Ano yung kind of asset na yun? Yun ay ang right. Anong right? Right na mangolekta. Okay? Right na mangolekta kanino? Doon sa pinangutang. Doon sa nangutang sa'yo, nang alin, of course, yung pera. So, may right kang mangolekta doon sa nangutang. Therefore, kung may right ka over one person, you have an asset. Kasi may economic benefit ka na mare-receive in the future because of past event. Yun yung rough na translation or definition ng asset kasi. So much for that. So instead daw tinuring na asset kasi pautang yon, masisingil naman at may mga nagbabayad nga. Excuse me. Ang ginawa, inisip na gastos. So hindi daw tama yon. So dapat mai-consider as loans receivable. So since hindi nga ginawa, part ng 75.9 million ay ang understatement daw ng pautang. So understatement yung pautang pero overstatement naman din yung income at expense. So mga impact yan sa financial statements. Okay, next, overstatement naman of office supplies inventory in the net amount of 1.7073 billion. Due to non-recording of or double recording of issuance of office supplies. So of course, this ang provincial government is composed of several offices. The governor's office, the vice governor's office, and necessarily in the discharge of their duties and responsibilities, mangailangan sila ng resources. Kasama yung mga office supplies na yan. So from the supplies office, nag-i-issue sila ng mga supplies sa iba't ibang opisina. Ang kaso, imbes na ma-record sa accounting wise, imbes na ma-record, hindi lang doon sa record ni GSO, ni supply officer, yung kanilang ni-issue dapat nakakarating din kay accountant. Si accountant din, i-record niya. Ang nangyari daw, non-recording ang nangyari, hindi nakapag-record. May nangyari pang na-double pa yung record na alin ng issuance nga ng office supplies. So kailangan, isa yan sa nag-contribute sa pagiging qualified opinion natin. So meron pa dito, understatement of breeding stocks in the amount of 2.7 million due to improper recording of breeding stocks as expense. So, ano yung breeding stocks? May account title kasi sa accounting, ang pangalan ay biological assets. Kung saan kino-consider ng account mga experts namin sa field of accounting na may mga assets talaga na while buhay pa mapapasayo na. Nagagaya nga niya yung mga breeding stocks na sinabi dito, mga sorry for the term, mga kahayupan. Yan. Maaring baka ito, kalabaw or manok na may binili ng probinsya, nagkakahalagang 2.7 million at kasalukuyang at nung inisyo yung report na ito, annual audit report, dapat yung financial statements, dapat kinonsider nila yun as assets instead na expense. Kasi again, may future economic benefits kasi yun sa probinsya at mabavalue mo naman kung magkano, 2.7 million at it resulted from past event. Okay, bigli Okay, mabilis lang. Overstatement of other payables ang sumunod. Trust liabilities, DRRMF, at accounts payable in the amount of 15.161 million, 34,308 million, at 8.36 million. So, ano nangyari? Due to non-recording of income for excess collections from sale of bid documents, erroneous recording of fund transfers where no actual transfer was made, and non-reversion of payables outstanding for more than 2 years. So, ano ibig sabihin nito? Ito yung mga liabilities na, okay, sa part na ng probinsya. Dapat na i-record, ang mga naging cost, kaya overstated sila, yung mga part na ng, kagaya nito, considered as income kasi ito, yung alin, yung mga bid documents. So, ang government procurement kasi requires na ang mga bidder, kung gusto mo mag-participate, kailangan bumili ng bid docs. Bili yun. Depende yun sa project kung magkano yung amount ng bid docs. So, ang treatment niyan, trust liabilities, other payables pa yan at the meantime, while hindi pa nag-undergo yung contract, malamang. At pag pag ready na or nag-undergo na yung, undertaken na yung contract or excess of collections from sale of bid of documents, pwede na i-consider yun as income. Okay? May issue dito na ang overstatement daw ang trust liabilities. The RRMF siguro to 34 million is because nakalagay erroneous recording fund transfer where no actual transfer was made. So, ang government agencies kasi, lalo sa LGUs, I'm not really quite sure sa mga GOCCs at national government agencies or NGAs, require ang mga LGUs na mag-allot ng a certain kano ba yung disaster fund? I think it's 5%. Ay, hindi. Around 10% yata kung hindi ako nagkakamali. Anyway, so ang intention is disaster response. Lahat na ng preparedness, response, and pag after na is yung recovery. Recovery expenditures. So pinapondahan yan. Nangyari naman sa isang taon na hindi naman lahat yan nagagastos. So, ang mangyayari dyan, pwede mo na siyang i-consider, ilipat na sa other funding. Yun yung trust liabilities na sinasabi ng DRRMF. So, pwede magamit yan sa susunod na taon. Okay? Tuloy na natin. Ito, may mga significant, bukod dyan sa mga nabanggit, may mga significant observations pa. Ano daw ang una? May 227 million pesos worth na 66 parcels of land recorded in the books of the province, pero hindi malaman, hindi ma-establish yung kanilang existence kasi yung titulo wala pa sa probinsya, sa pangalan ng probinsya. Yun ang naging issue dyan, which is contrary daw, which is not in accordance with Section 39 of Presidential Decree 1445 and Section 449 of Government Accounting and Auditing Manual, Volume 1. So, since observation yan, may kwento yung mahaba kung gusto natin kung gusto mong basahin, nandun yun sa, you have to download the entire file at makikita mo dun yung amount na yung mga laman. Kung anong titulo yan, nandun yan. May recommendations yan, pero may kinalaman ito sa lupa, so provincial assessor ang kausap ito. We recommend that, actually ang kausap dito sa management we recommend that management, letter A, require the OIC, provincial assessor, and GSO to gather all needed documents in establishing legal ownership of 53 parcels of land covered by, ito, tax deck pa lang. So, wala pang transfer certificate of title. So, asikasuhin nila yan. Ito naman, pangalawa, letter B, require naman the OIC Provincial Office Assessor, as the appraisal committee head, to render an appraisal report which will be the basis for proper valuation of acquired lots recorded at assessed value. So, sa accounting, meron tayong playlist sa YouTube natin, sa channel, na may kung saan nandun po yung accounting para sa lahat. So, para po mas maintindihan natin yung mga terminologies na ginagamit natin dito, pwede po tayo mag-refer doon. So, bakit ko binabanggit yan? Kasi meron dito ang nakalagay basis for proper valuation of acquired lots. So, anong nangyayari dyan? Para naman kasi may record dyan sa accounting, kailangan may amount. So, ang sinasabi dito, si OIC Provincial Assessor na ang mag-prod, make sure na ang committee, appraisal committee, makaka-issue ng appraisal report para dun sa mga properties na pinag-uusapan. Pangatlo, sabi ko kay management, instruct the OIC provincial officer to coordinate with the provincial legal officer to secure the proof of transfer of the 2 parcels of land to the agency from, may the DOH recorded a 3.5975 million pesos in the books of accounts as basis for processing of transfer of ownership in the name of the province. So, kwento dito is walang transfer of ownership na formal pa, yung lupa na 2 parcels na binigay ng DOH sa province. So, kailangan manilinis yun, papel, at mag-uusap si assessor at saka si legal officer. Okay? Pang-4 na pala, Instruct the OIC Provincial Assessor and GSO to keep track of the processing of the registration with the LRA of 9 parcels of land acquired through purchase worth 77.968 million. Okay, excuse me. As evidenced by TCTs in the name of the province. Okay. Panglima, instruct the provincial assessor's office and GSO to follow up the approval of the registry of deeds on the subdivision of the 2 lots acquired through purchase, total amount of 6 million to be annotated on the TCT in the previous owners that is needed in the processing of transfer of ownership in the province. So may request mag-follow up lang ito ng subdivision plan na approval na ina-approve dapat ng RDA, ng Registry of Deeds. Lastly, require the provincial accountant to indicate in the real property ledger card the detailed and complete description of the 30 parcels of land for verification with the records of the assessor. Okay? Si accountant naman ang kausap sa letter F, magdidetalye ng mga laman sa real property ledger cards ng 30 parcels of land. Okay? Meron din dito, various procurement charge to community development projects under the 20% development fund were implemented and carried out by the Sangguniang Panlalawigan, a total amount of 39,799,106 pesos and 40 centavos, which is not in conformity with Section 468 of RA number 7160. So hence, the lack of separation of functions that may prove incompatible or may compromise controls necessary to ensure regularity and efficiency in the agency's operation. Ano to? In short, may almost 40 million peso worth of contracts na in-implement ni SP sa Sangguniang Panlalawigan concerning community development projects under the 20% development fund. According sa COA, hindi raw yon in conformity with Section 468. So may separation of functions dapat na separation of functions na hindi nasunod, obviously. So recommendation dito, we recommend that the local chief executive implement all approved PPAs of the province, while the SP shall be limited to legislative function. So maggawa na lang daw ng mga ordinansa at resolusyon. Si chief executive na yung mag-implement ng projects, lalo na yung mga procurements na sinasabi. We also recommend that management instruct the provincial planning and development coordinator to prepare the annual investment plan indicating therein the executive department as the implementing office of programs, projects, activities under the 20% development fund. Ang 20% development fund pala is a provision ng local government code kung saan nagsasabi na for each year na mag-budget ang LGU, kailangan may 20% development fund for major infrastructure or siguro mga soft projects din na mag-aim ay makapag-bigay ng progress-inducing projects in the form like infrastructure, ganun. Okay? Or mga training and development. I think kasama yun. I cannot be sure though. Pero may yan kasi may implementing rules and regulations or may yung circular, memorandum, kung ano yung pwedeng pumasok doon. Okay. Lastly, sa Pangasinan, status of recommendation. Status of implementation of prior year's audit recommendation. Prior year, 2019. So, sa 2019, meron 70 recommendations. 30 were implemented and 40 were not implemented. In view of their significant effects in financial statements, the unimplemented recommendations are reiterated in this report. And ini-reiterate yung mga unimplemented. Okay? Meron naman tayo dito ganito. Letter H. Okay, medyo ano to. Dito sa mga notices na to, yung suspension, disallowance, and notice of charge. Dito mo makikita yung poder ng isang COA auditor, kung saan sinasabi dito na ang isang COA auditor, pag sa kalagitnaan ng isang transaction or after matapos na ang transaction na ito, ay pwede siyang may administrative siguro, or meron siyang poder, in short, may power siya na makialam. Sabihin natin, ano tong notice of suspension? Subject dun sa compliance ng pag-submit ng mga dokumento regarding a certain contract, ay ititigil pansamantagal yung isang project. Okay, ulitin ko ha, subject to. So hangga't hindi pa nasasubmit yung complete documents dun sa project, lalo explanation, ang project na yan will be suspended. Okay, hindi yan infrastructure yan. Project yan, hindi matutuloy hangga't hindi nasasubmit. Ito namang isa, notice of disallowance. Ito napatunayan talaga na violative of expenditures, kumbaga violative yung mga relevant rules and regulations dun sa pag-disperse funds. So halimbawa, bumili ka ng sasakyan for your personal use, ba? Pero walang pondong ganun, isang chief executive officer. So pag walang pondo, ibig sabihin walang budget, anong basis mo for that? Kaya i-disallow yan. Yan, notice of charge. Ito naman, kapag may income dapat na na-generate ang LGU pero hindi charge, hindi naglalagyan ng, hindi na singil. Okay? Kasi singilan yan dun sa kausap na agency or na government or partner or kausap ng LGU. Okay? So that's it for Pangasinan. Punta tayo sa pinakamaliit na province in terms of total assets. Yun ay ang Ilocos Norte. So lagay lang natin yan sa mas malaking view. So by virtue of royal decree signed by the Solicitor General at February 2, 1818, kinagkaroon na province of Ilocos Norte. From Ilocos region, naging Ilocos Norte nga at Ilocos Sur. May 2 congressional districts and with 2 component cities and 21 municipalities with a total barangays of 557. Yan, location, mabilis na lang yan. Ang current na head ng probinsya o ng current na governor ay si Honorable Governor Matthew J. Marcos Manotoc, assisted by Vice Governor Cecilia Araneta Marcos and 13 Sangguniang Panlalawigan SP members. Okay? There are 1,477 working force, of which 648 are permanent, 304 are casual, and 525 are job order employees. This manpower is distributed in 31 offices, including a tertiary hospital and 5 district hospitals. Okay, highlights. Ito, the provincial government or PGIN of Ilocos Norte continuously endeavors to promote sustainable, equitable development in the locality through its banner programs on health and wellness, environment, agriculture, infrastructure, investment, tourism, and job creation, and transportation and communication. So, collected revenues nila is 1.8 billion for calendar year 2020. Ito ay manabas na walang percentage, 88 daw. Okay. Mas mataas ito ng 88.88 million compared dun sa budget na pinroject nila at the start of the year. Okay? So maganda yun. Malaki. 20% development for the total amount of 736 million from CY 2017 to 2020 registered 82.29 utilization total amount of 600. Ano to? 20 itong 20% development fund may project from 2017 to 2020 na almost completed na yung utilization of fund. So, ibig sabihin as around 82.29 million pesos na. 82.29% ng 736 million pesos na yan implemented or na-utilize na yung pondo. Okay? For different developmental projects. Kasi 20% development fund nga. Sa SEF naman, sa Special Education Fund, yung binabayaran natin ang milyar kasi, meron yung 2%. 2% dyan, kasi 1% papupunta sa, sa pondo, general fund ba ang tawag? Well, so papupunta yan as real property income, real property tax income ng LGU, at yung another 1% naman is para dito sa Special Education Fund. Okay, 111 million approved under registered at utilization rate. Ang sinasabi nila dito is yung mga nagagastos. Of the 111, 89.34% yan or 99,170,000 nagamit na. So, ano naman sumunod? 76 infrastructure projects with a total cost of 491,858,603 were completed during the year. Meron pang there was a total of 115 programs, infrastructure projects, which includes which include construction, improvement, and rehabilitation of buildings, parks, plazas, roads, and bridges, and its 3 flagship projects. And ano naman itong isa? This is significant. The PGIN entered into a loan agreement with the Development Bank of the Philippines to finance its 3 flagship projects with a principal amount of 2,024 million pesos or 100% of the winning bid price on October 29, 2018. Ano yung mga project na yan? Yan, construction of Ilocos Norte Capital Extension Building worth 359.8 ito sa 8 million pesos. Yan ay 6.71% completed. Another is redevelopment of the Ferdinand E. Marcos Stadium, almost 1 billion and 57 million ang halaga. That Ayan construction of that development of that Ayan commercial building at 603 million. 6% naman at completed. In response of the COVID-19, the PGIN allotted a total of 270.4 million ng mga pesos for the necessary programs, projects, activities sa virus prevention, treatment, repercussions, and or aftermath to recovery. So, pinakamalaki nilang pinagkagastusan dyan. Okay. Well, meron sila ditong dream fund niya. Ito yung Disaster Risk Reduction Management Fund. Yan, 30% yan. 30%, 70%. I'm not sure dun sa MF. 70 MF unspent. Yun. So, of the beginning balance, at the start of the year, based sa pondo, ang nagamit is ito, may natira pa. So, yung natira, mapupunta yan magagamit yan for next year. Naka-receive din sila ng donations, 5 million, bayanihan grant. Ito yung galing sa national government. General fund. Ito yung mga programs, projects na nire-align nila. Nire-program ang tawag nila. From, say, kagaya ng national government, kinailangan din mag-reprogram ng ibang mga pondo para pangdagdag sa disaster response. Para dun sa ayuda. Okay? So, this is special mention by way of implementation of programs and projects, especially in poverty alleviation. The governor was awarded as Honorary Governor of the Year by the Sustainability Standard Inc. Galing. And comparative FS tayo. 2019-2020 ulit. Nagkaroon daw ng increase na 7.61 million pesos yung yung assets. Samantalang revenue na tayo, no? Lumiit nga lang yung income nila for the year. Compared sa last, although mas mataas dun sa budget for the year, compared 2019, mas maliit siya ng 6.87%. Okay. May sinasabi dito, hindi ko to naintindihan itong figure na to, net subsidy. It could be mali siguro yung nagkabaliktad siguro ito. Anyway, hindi naman siya ganun ka-material. Operating expense, lumiit din. Okay. Pero, lumiit din naman yung income nila. Pero positive pa rin. Lumiit nga lang, pero positive. Ibig sabihin, may income pa rin sila for the year. Appropriations. Okay. Mas maliit yung budget nila dito. If I'm not mistaken. Okay. Appropriation nila is 2.3 billion ito compared last year, at nagamit naman ng lahat. I'm sorry, iba pa yung lahat nito anyway, na obligate niyan dun sa 2.3 billion, ang obligate or ang may na-incur na is 1.8 doon, dito pa rin, pero wala nang pondo yun. So pero doon sa 1.8, na-disburse na halos yung natira na lang is around 70 million yung nakakamali dito. Malaki na rin. Okay. Dito na tayo. So, okay. The audit covered the financial transactions operations including various PPAs, PAPs dito nakalagay, of the PGIN funded by regular, special, and supplemental appropriations, trust funds, fund transfers from various agencies for 2020. Ascertain the accuracy of financial records and reports as well as the fairness in the presentation. Fairness talaga yan. Makikita nyo dito. Notice mo, iba nakalagay dito compared sa Pangasinan. Mainly because, ang sasabihin sa kanila ng COA, lagyan nyo to ng laman. Itong laman na to. Ganon din ito, lagyan nyo ng laman. Explaining in brief kung ano. In short, freehand na to. Depende na yung taste or taste siguro. Kung ano yung literary na training or narrative direction siguro ng team at ng mga nag-approve. So, ito na yung pinakamahalaga. This audit, this annual audit report has been, the provincial government of Ilocos Norte was given an unmodified opinion. Congratulations. So, sabi ko nga, unmodified is also unmodified or unqualified yan. Pareho lang yan. So, unmodified or unqualified, mas bababa dyan is modified or qualified. Pag may negative siya connotation, pero pagdating sa FS, maganda yan. Sa audit, maganda yan. Ibig sabihin, wala silang nakita na material na deviation from relevant financial reporting framework. Kaya ganyan. So, the fairness of the financial statement. So, congratulations provincial government of Ilocos Norte. They were issued an unmodified opinion. Ibig sabihin, the auditors believe na fair yung presentation ng FS. Excuse me. So, pag fair, walang hinihilingan, sabi pa nga ng GMA, walang pinoprotektahan. Kung ano lang ang totoong nangyaring transaction. Yun lang naka-report. These financial statements were fairly presented in all material respects in accordance with applicable financial reporting framework. Kaya lang, although unqualified opinion sila, meron pa rin mga may mga napansin pa rin sila na observations at nag-recommend pa rin ang COA. So, halimbawa, merong 19.5 million peso worth na interest ito kaya borrowing cost na hindi na-record as forming part dun sa equipment, sa mga kinonstruct na projects. So, may accounting standards kasi na nagsasabi, yung mga loans na ginamit, yung mga interest na loans na ginamit mo, kapag daw may project ka na nag-construct ka, at ang ginamit mo na pang-construct doon ay ang pondo coming from loans. Okay? Yung interest na will be forming part doon sa loan na yun ay pwede mo raw i-capitalize. Ano yung sabihin na i-capitalize? Form part sa cost ng construction ng project. Anong logic nun? Kasi hindi ka naman maglo-loan kung hindi ka naman mag-project. Okay? So, ang sabi kasi ng standards ng pag-construct, all costs incurred in bringing the assets to the location and condition na ready for use, all costs incurred. Cost ito kaya ang borrowing cost. Pwede mo siyang i-capitalize. So, ganun siya. Hindi ka naman kasi mag-loan kung hindi mo kailangan. So, nagkakahalagang 19.5 million. So, that's resulting in the understatement of PPE and government equity accounts both by 12.57 million. Okay. We recommended and management agreed to instruct the provincial accountant to immediately book up the borrowing costs in relation to the hotel and convention center incurred. Okay, anyway, recorded na. Ito, plants and trees are still recorded in the books in their initial costs in an amount of 97 million. So, property, biological assets, nirecord pa rin at initial cost. So, ano yun, yung nung binili. Okay? Thus, account is stated in the financial statements. Tapang, medyo malakas yung wording, stated talaga. Anyway, ganun din naman yung overstated, understated. So, may stated daw. So, ang sabi, recommended the management instruct the officer in charge, environment and natural resource officer, or office, to coordinate with the provincial accountant and come up with plans on what activities to be executed for the proper valuation of recorded plants and trees. So, kasi, halimbawa, bumili ka kasi ng biik. 3 months time, 4 months time, malaki na yung baboy. Hindi na siya biik, di ba? Ganon din naman yung mga puno. Hindi na siya seedlings. Lalaki na siya. So, iba na yung value niya. Okay? Ganon ang logic nun. Kailangan yung i-reappraise din. Parang lupa lang din yan. Parang real property. Okay, tuloy natin. Okay. Tingnan natin. Claims of 6 healthcare institutions under PA that were denied by the PhilHealth were not taken in the books as donations. Were not taken up in the books as donations or lost in conformity with Section 47F of the Implementing Rules of Regulations. RA, I'm not familiar with the regulation. RA, the law 7875 as amended by R 9241. Thus overstating the government equity accounting to financial statements. Tingnan natin. We recommended that management instructs the FIC officer in charge, to properly and expeditiously verify the patient's membership and eligibility before discharge. Kasi may provincial hospital. So, dun sa provincial hospital, pwedeng mangyari na nagki-claim ng PhilHealth yung mga pasyente. So, kailangan under 6 health institutions, under the PJ. So, yung mga hospitals na under sa kanila. So, yung mga nagki-claim ng PhilHealth, kailangan ma-verify agad yung membership and eligibility bago pa ma-discharge. Ang mangyayari dyan, kung hindi ma-verify at maniningil na sila sa PhilHealth, hindi sila mapagbibigyan. Chief of Hospitals to require the submission of monthly reports of denied claims from the FIC OICs and evaluate the cost of such denied claim. Pag-aaralan yan. The FIC, OIC, and the HCIs para yun. Okay. Hindi ko sure yung HCI. Okay. Submit monthly reports of FIC claims where granted or denied, whether granted or denied to the accounting office. Okay. Okay. Healthcare institutions. May in-charge kasi dun sa mga claims. So, trabaho nila yan. Yan lang wala. Healthcare institutions. Ito na. Tama. So, the provincial accountant to appropriately record the amount of claims granted as well as denied. Okay. It will reflect yung amount of income or loss. Next is cash advances worth fund transfers are received so totaling 2.69 million remained unliquidated and outstanding for more than 1 to 33 years. Contrary. Ito yung mga hindi na masisingil talaga. 33 years eh. Thereby affecting the accuracy in the related receivables of the government equity accounts. And recommendation, prepare the request for authority to write off of the non-moving and long outstanding cash advance and fund transfers in accordance with COA Circular 2016-005 and COA Circular 2016-022. Ay, sabihin yan, pwede naman kasi na pag sobrang hindi ka na makakolekta, pwede mo nang ipa-write off. Sabihin, yung cost sa masusing paghahanap ng pwedeng masingilan ay di hamak mas malaki pa dun sa amount na isisingil. So, it will not be practical anymore yung cost-benefit analysis kumbaga. Impossible kasi na iba-iba yan. I mean, iba-ibang amounts yan. Ito, due from LGUs. Ibang agency, hindi tao eh. Ibang agency yung pinautang. And due from NGAs. Okay? The aforementioned observations and recommendations were discussed with management on March 2, 2020. Okay? Of the 28 recommendations, 22 were fully implemented during the year and 6 were not implemented. The audit disallowance 49,000 were settled during the year, leaving a balance of 12,101,000. Okay? May disallowance. Ito yung mga nahuling caught in the act talaga. Okay. Last but not the least na tayo, Ilocos, ano kasi natin to Pangasinan. Ang calculator dito. Yung total assets niya is 13.059 million. Idagdag natin tong Ilocos Norte na natin na 7 almost 8 million 8 billion pala 7.9 billion at i-divide natin yan sa dalawa, that would be 20 roughly 21 billion. So divide by 2 roughly again. Ito kasi si Ilocos Sur, magkano to? Si Ilocos Sur kasi nasa 13 billion din to eh. Ito last ni Ilocos Sur ay 13 billion din. Ayun o. Ano lang, 52 million ang diferensya sa Pangasinan. So, ibig sabihin, ang pinakamalapit ay si La Union. Okay, pasadahan na natin na mabilis lang ulit si La Union. Pasensya na sa mga taga-La Union pero hindi ko na basahin yung masyadong maraming detalye dun sa creation ng province. Except for, it was created on March 2, 1850 by Governor General Antonio Maria Blanco. First class municipal province ang La Union with one lone city, yung city of San Fernando, and 19 municipalities with 576 barangays. Okay, si Governor Francisco Emmanuel Pacoy Ortega III, okay, ang provincial governor na may vision daw. La Union, the heart of agritourism in Northern Luzon by 2025. Okay, hindi sina-mention dito kung sino yung vice governor. Okay, complement permanent ay officials na elected 15, permanent 1026, temporary 72, job order 723. Okay, highlights ng operations nila. Mayroon silang medical supplies na pinurchase, 100% completed, walang amount inalam. Diagnostics and testing, ano to, sa COVID siguro. Establishment of temporary isolation facility. Yan. Services, basic services, home transportation et al. 300 frontliners, household relief operations, tourism assistance program, etc. So infrastructure project naman, walang amounts 18 projects. Construction rehabilitation of Fountain Market Roads 34. Bridge projects 66 percentage 61%. Farmers multipurpose centers 95%. Na lang na project. School covered courts 9 out of 13. Ayan, tuloy natin. Highlights. So 8.6 kung 21 kasi 10.5. So pinakamalapit si 8.6 billion. So ang sumunod nga talaga natin sa discussion si La Union. Okay, may increase ng equity assets din. Okay. Hindi sinabi yung percentage increases dito. Pero makikita naman natin sa almost 500 million ang increase ng assets. Sa income naman, that's about 500 million din. Tulong ko lang. Yan. Parang from 2019 to 2020. The income increase was due to receipt of share from tobacco, excise tax, and additional funds for support COVID-19 operations. Meanwhile, significant increase in expenditures was caused by COVID-19 expenditures and increase in depreciation expenses due to increase in PPE. Kasi yung PPE kasi mag-depreciate talaga yan. So nire-record yung depreciation sa statements, sa financial statements, in particular sa income statement or sa statement of comprehensive income. Okay. General fund, allotments, obligations, balance. Allotments, ito yung pondo. Okay. Continuing appropriations, ito yung mga previous year na tuloy-tuloy pa lang. Tuloy-tuloy na nagkukonsumo. Possibly kasi like yung project, it will take construction of building. It will take several years talaga to accomplish. So, tuloy-tuloy yan. Kaya continuing appropriations ang tawag siya. Scope of audit. Yan, familiar na tayo dito. Fairness talaga yan. Dito naman, qualified opinion ang issue sa fairness of the FS. So that for the reason that a welfare goods expense and transfer from general fund of unspent disaster risk reduction management fund accounts were both underestimated by 47,145,660.65 because procurement of goods out of the Trust Liability Disaster Risk Reduction Management Fund was automatically debited to the account Trust Liability, okay, liability, and the interagency account were overstated by 34,841,488 because receivables from three they mentioned DH were set up despite incurrence of net loss and intra-agency receivables payables between DH and its cash pharmacies were not offset at year-end. I am having difficulty understanding the audit report, to be honest. Okay. Let's take it a step muna. Okay. Mahaba rin kasi itong presentation natin. So, bukod daw dyan, basically kasi yung sabi, welfare goods, expense and transfers from general fund of unspent disaster because procurement of goods out of the trust liability. Procurement of goods automatically debited to the account trust liability. Okay. We have an option kasi to open the report mismo to really see what's happening here or mag-concentrate tayo sa iba pang observations, but suffice to say na ang cost ng qualified opinion is maling recording. Ganun siya. Because procurement of goods out of the trust liability blah 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 was automatically debited to the account trust liability. Hindi sinabi instead of where. So kung procurement of goods yan, dapat yan kung ano yung goods na nabili. Medyo gets ko na. Tama. Ang nangyari dito, may kasi, may fund. Okay, so in the form of cash. So instead na nung bumili na-recognize yung corresponding expense dun sa item na yon, ang ginawa, instead na i-recognize yung item na binili, for example, PPE, masks, respirators, etc. Ang nilagay, Trust Liability Local Disaster Risk Reduction Management Fund yung pinagbanggaan ng gastos, which is not true. Correct. Gets ko na. Naman, intra-agency accounts were overstated. Intra-agency, so within the agency, no? Because receivable from 3DH were set up despite incurrence of loss, and intra-agency receivables payables between DHs and cash pharmacies were not offset at year-end. Hindi ko lang magets yung DH, kung ano yung DH. Baka dito makita natin sa baba. Also noted the following recommendation dito. Provincial Accounting Office for the early submission on January 26, 2021 of the year-end FS. We will likewise acknowledge the positive response of management on our previous year's audit recommendations and current year's audit observation memoranda. Okay? Naroon pa rin nakita. Accumulated net losses of the 5 district hospitals resulted to insufficient cash balance. Okay. Amounting to 57. Ano to? Accumulated net losses of the 5 district hospitals in DH resulted to insufficient cash balance amounting to 57.86, which exposes hospitals to risk of not achieving financial self-sufficiency as local economic enterprises, thereby affecting delivery of quality health services. So we recommend, nag-net loss kasi, sabihin mas malaking expenses kaysa sa income. Nag-net loss yung mga alin, in district hospitals. Kaya naman, We recommend that the provincial governor join the hospital chiefs, accountants, and local finance committee to reassess the sustainability and actual financial standing of the DH as LEEs, local economic enterprises, and general examination of costs and accomplishments against performance standards by submitting semi-annual financial sufficiency review report to the audit team. Ayun. Okay, semi-annual. Double lang. Several deficiencies in the procurement of welfare goods totaling 167,038,970 procurement of welfare goods were observed, such as deficiencies in the purchase to direct procurement from non-unqualified supplier, bumili diretso pero hindi qualified si supplier, mga ambiguous technical specifications of canned goods that resulted in possible loss, excessive payment to supplier by 6.567946 million, unaccounted welfare goods amounting to 951,000, thus the funds allocated for welfare goods was not maximized, in which LGU could have offered more relief assistance to its constituents. Anong ibig sabihin? May halagang 167 million na may mga issues yung procurement, kaya deficiencies. Yan nga kanina, isa hindi qualified yung yung isang supplier, yung specifications ng mga canned goods hindi ambiguous daw hindi malinaw. So ang recommendation, we recommend that the provincial governor direct the Bids and Awards Committee to require the supplier to submit appropriate measures or business permit allowing to engage a supplier of the rice and food commodities, line of credit from universal or commercial bank in lieu of the net financial contracting capacity. Kailangan kasi yan, yung net financial contracting capacity, mapatunayan mo na may kapasidad ka financially to contract. Kaya net financial contracting capacity. And complete omnibus sworn statement, may yan, required yan. It's an oath, sworn statement. For future procurements, the Bids and Award Committee, in consultation with the end users unit, prepare a clear and unambiguous specification to ensure that these are embodied in the PR, just request from PO, as basis in determining the reasonableness of the price and gauging the compliance of the supplier in the delivery. And the end user to ensure na pinaparino yun sa letter B. Ito letter C naman. Pinaparino specs doon. Letter C naman, si end user, ensure all receipts from supplier and distribution to recipients are all accounted for by rechecking the repacked goods, assigning recheckers for control purposes, and preparing list of actual repacked goods. So, pinapabantayan dun sa mga, mga sa welfare goods, so mga relief operations, kailangan may malinaw na role sa pag-check ang end user. Siguro provincial welfare services. So 19 municipalities of PGLU employed non-uniform real property tax collection system, which resulted from non-standardized use of management information system and misapplication of discount penalty rates, thus not only depriving its constituents of uniform taxation, but also exposing the government to risk of inaccurate and under-collected tax revenues. In short, hindi tugma-tugma yung sistema ng pangongolekta ng pamilyar ng 19 provinces, ng 19 municipalities ng probinsya. Ang consequence nyon, which resulted from non-standardized use of management system and misapplication of discounts, thus not only depriving constituents na hindi nabigyan ng pagkakataon ang mga constituents of a uniform taxation, pero bukod pa doon is magkakaroon doon ng chance ng inaccurate, kulang din ng makakolektang real property tax. So we recommend the provincial governor to enjoin the acting provincial treasurer to fast-track the launching of the treasury module of the ERPT of the 19 municipalities within 1 year in order to maximize the benefits of the system. May sistema na in-introduce, pinapamagaling. Acting provincial officer naman, sa provincial treasurer, to follow up from the Bureau of Local Government Finance on the ruling or opinion on discounts and penalties to be imposed to taxpayers for uniformity. So, pag mga ganito, mabilis na lang to. Mag-follow up ka na lang. Kulitin mo lang, kailangan mo lang kulitin. May poder ka naman provincial treasurer ka na kumika to. We also recommend that the provincial government discourage municipalities to procure a separate system. O yan, wag na daw bumili. Yung sa probinsya lang gamitin. For this will be provided by the PGLU. Sahan na lang. So, na-discuss itong mga observations and recommendations sa management, and the comments were incorporated in the report were appropriate. May mga require kasi sila mag-comment din. So, makakasama yun dun sa body na report. So, part 2, recommendations. So, nagkaroon sila ng exit conference at March 8, 2021. Ito yung status of the 51 2019 recommendations. 24 were fully implemented and 27 were not. Okay, disallowance totaling 521,606.67 ito. For CY 2014, notices of disallowance were issued management totaling, which were settled din naman daw. Okay. On December 22, 2020. So, mahaba po itong ating discussion. Considering na ito na po yung unang-una nating discussion sa audit reports ng ng mga probinsya, ay marapat lang na kung bigyan natin sila ng pagkakataon na mag-react dito sa video kung sakaling makarating man sa kanila. Pinabasa lang po natin kasi yung executive summary. Okay? On your own, you can also download the entire report. Ito po sila. Yan. Download. Buong report po ito maka-download ng Ilocos Norte, Ilocos Sur. Yan. So, subukan natin every week mag-release tayo ng video covering next region 2, then CAR, then region 3, region 4A, region 4B, region 4A, tas NCR, then region 4B tayo. Yan. So, sana po may matutunan tayo kahit paano at mas nakikilala natin. Again, ang purpose natin dito, napakarami kasi materials, napakarami pwedeng gawing content sa commission audit. And besides, baka makatulong ito dun sa dating na eleksyon niya na mas makilala natin yung report, yung mga namamahala sa probinsya natin. Obviously, for very obvious reason, we can no longer conduct these expositions sa mga municipalities o kahit sa mga components or independent cities kasi hindi naman natin kaya so mahabang oras. Pwede siguro basta pag may request kayo. So kung may request kayong pag-usapan natin at gusto niyo maging involved sa vlog na ito, pwede rin magbalay-taktakan tayo pag-usapan natin yung audit report. So dyan na lang po muna natin tapusin. Marami pong materials na pwede makuha dito, makikita nyo naman. Per province yan, per regions, makikita natin dito. So if you're really interested more then to do it on your own, halimbawa provinces ayan, yun, medical center pa nga. Halimbawa sa Pangasinan, kung babuksan mo yan, province kasi tinignan ko, hold on. So, halimbawa, region 1, halimbawa, cities ng Pangasinan. Makikita mo dito. Yan, 4 lang naman yan. Okay. Yan. Pwede mong pag-aralan yan. I-download mo yung buong file. Kagaya ito, na-download ko ng isa. This will help you become more informed. This will help us become more informed niya. Okay? Sana in the future, when we try to participate in governance, we'll be more familiar on the terminologies and the roles that certain people will play dun sa discharge ng pamamahala sa sambayanan. So, marami pong salamat at pasensya na sa napakahabang discussion. We'll try to be as concise as possible sa susunod. Mabuhay po tayong lahat. Magandang araw po sa atin ulit. Na may pagpalain po tayo ng Panginoon. Tayo pong lahat mga ka-audit.